What is going on, everybody out there in YouTube land? Thanks for joining me here on my channel, Stephen Sturgill, talking fragrances once again. Now, guys, I'm looking at old hat, new hat. I mean, just yeah, it's a frag that has come and gone as far as the hype train. This really hit the hype train a few years back, and it kind of went in and out of being in vogue, and it's gotten a lot of hate, a lot of love, certainly, a lot of acolytes, a lot of followers, and a lot of people just saying, well, it was never that great to begin with. It's a has been, been there, done it, da 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 da, whatever. Anyways, the frag I'm talking about is the original Montblanc legend. So, got my hands on this little bitty sample. It is a real sample, straight from La Fabrica, Legend Montblanc, EDT Eau de Toilette. And I already sprayed this on earlier, right around the wrist. What's funny though is that to me, aside from the oak moss type note that it has and sort of the woodsy, fruity stuff, which is coming from some synthetics. I mean, they're almost all synthetic these days, but I mean, these are some pretty unique high level synthetics owned and created by like Givaudan and IFF. We'll get into that later, but the point is you get these fruity, woody, almost a vetiver like note in here, which I find quite intriguing. And there's also a light, crisp freshness about it. Hey, Carlos, buenos dias. Good to see you out there. Thank you. Gracias para joining the chat on this live com. And I'm talking about an old classic, Carlos Montblanc Legend Montblanc. So yeah, I'm very late to the game as far as Montblanc. I had seen them in the department stores, for years, literally years on end. And for whatever reason, para cualquier razón, I never really showed much interest in the line. I always saw them, and I know this sounds arrogant. I always saw them as kind of like, well, obviously a pen company, right? A high dollar pen company. And I kind of thought, what business do they have of trying to join the perfumery game? It seems like everybody that has a nickel to throw around and is a big company wants to get involved in the perfume game. And honestly, it's a good thing. I think it's an excellent thing, but it makes you kind of wonder, if you don't have a history in the game, no sense of historic origin or purpose, you just kind of question a company's validity in getting into an area like perfumery. But hey, I mean, to each their own, and they got into it and they did really well. They kind of killed it. They crushed it. They found a market segment that I would say is designer, sort of entry-level, high-end designer, if you will, beginning to flirt with entry-level niche frags, if you will. So the funny thing about having said that, obviously, is that you wait about 2 to 3 years and you find about 3 or 4 Montblanc legends. They had all these flankers come out, obviously Spirit, Night, Sport, etc., on and on. You could find almost any of them at the local discounters and online on the online discount website. So you could find a smaller bottle for literally as cheap as $20 to $25 US, which is really cheap to be getting some pretty good juice, pretty good to very good juice, obviously. So you put some great items on the box. Oh, thank you, Carlos. Gracias. Yeah, so let's get into talking about Legend for a second. I know it's the one that started the entire line. It's the one that they kind of bet all their shekels, rubles, dólares, pesetas, pesos, yuan, yen, all that stuff on, and for good reason. And who did they get? What was the nose that they got? I used to know this like the back of my hand almost, but I'm trying to remember now. I know he's French. Where did I put? Oh yeah, Olivier Pechot. Now I'm not going to talk about every freaking perfume that Monsieur Olivier has designed, because we would be here all day. I'm just joking, but we'd be here literally for a lot longer than I'm looking to spend Not that I would mind, but I'm just going to kind of list some standouts that he's done. Now, firstly and foremost, he's done the entire Montblanc line, to my knowledge. There may be one or two other frags out there I don't know about that are under the Montblanc umbrella, but as far as I know, I think he's done them all. Just some interesting standouts for his long and illustrious career. Olivier has designed not the original, but the Azaro Perome Intense 2015, Chrome Legend, Jet Lag, which got mixed reviews in the marketplace, Chrome Pure, likewise, that's very divisive. Some people swear by it, some people just can't stand it. To each their own. He did Adidas Fresh Escape, but that's a female. Christian Dior, Higher Black. Davidoff, he did the Amber Blend, which is, I think, much lauded in Fragcom, got a lot of love. He also did Horizon Extreme by Davidoff and the original Horizon. I think both of those were relatively well received. Some detractors, obviously, but you're never going to please everybody. He did a huge amount of the Diptyque out of France line. I don't know if any of you guys are into Diptyque, but things like Tempo, Vetiverio de Parfum, L'eau de Tarocco, L'eau de l'eau, O Moeli, Eau de 34, or 34, 34. Am I saying that right? Anyways, 34. Also 34 Boulevard Saint-Germain. What else? Duetto, he did City Love, Lady Cool, City Oud, some Esprit stuff, Ex Nihilo, which I've talked about in previous years. I never reviewed one. I've just mentioned wanting to review the Ex Nihilo or Nihilo, however you say that, Amber Sky Midnight Special. Now H&M, guys, he did H&M, just a truckload. Let me see if I can count these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He did 20 frags for H&M, and they're really, really good looking bottles, extremely high level, niche. They look niche. I don't know what these cost. This is the first time I've ever seen them. If any of you guys out there have ever tried anything from the H&M, they've got some really, really cool looking bottles of juice here. Stuff like Macassar Patchouli, Racontus, Rue Camille, Golden Warmth, Creamy, Zesty Fizziness, Past Midnight, Classic Cotton, Santalum, Le Caille Vetiver, Formentera, Melty Goodness, Arboretum, and Luscious Pulp Berries, and Komodo Ilang, like Ilang Ilang, or however you say that, Sunlit Dew, and finally a dash of color. With the exception of maybe like 5, I think they're all unisex. I don't think any are specifically male. We'll have to check some of these guys out down the road. If anybody has ever tried anything from H&M, please hit me up and let me know what you thought about it. I'd love to get one of these guys on my channel and give it a shot. Okay, I'm getting off topic, but whatever. Also, if any of you guys have tried Jill Sander, obviously not the women's version. I wouldn't particularly want to wear those, but I am somewhat interested in her Ultra Sense White, her Sunmin Sport, and her Strictly Jill Sander, which is a really very, very elegant looking, sort of an 80s meets 90s meets 2000 type look of a bottle. I just expect that to smell clean and masculine and classy, something like that. I have no idea. And also, let me know if any of you have ever tried Kenzo Totem, Totem Orange, Totem Sport, or the Kenzo Homme Eau de Parfum concentration, not the EDT. I've already owned that, and that was a phenomenal aquatic oriental. Way back in the day. I think that dropped maybe like in, I don't know when that dropped, like maybe like 1994 or something, or 92. I forget. Okay, moving along. What else? About to wrap it up. Oh, and I keep on mentioning Northfield's Tailors Pour Homme from Northfield's Tailors. I want to get my grubby hands on that bottle. That bottle just looks so classy, very British. It's gray, so I'm expecting something like vetiver and oak moss and maybe a little citrus, maybe a little floral and thyme. but I have no idea. I've never smelled that. I've never even seen it in an apartment store. Again, if anyone has ever heard of that or tried Northfield's Taylors, please hit me up and let me know what you thought about it. More importantly, though, he is also the creator behind the legendary Parfums de Marly Herod. Yeah, so this guy's pretty serious. Also, and I'll wrap it up real quickly, he's done Paul Smith Extreme Man, which I believe my guy out of Canada, Mark Robes 08, shout out Mark. He has very favorably reviewed Paul Smith Extreme Man. If I'm not mistaken, that dropped in 03. Not that I'm not as far as I'm mistaken. If I mean that he really, really liked it. Pure Balmain Homme, good looking bottle. Roberto Cavalli, Precious Leather. I think that got some love in Fracom. Not a whole heck of a lot. Some detractors, but I think it looks pretty cool. It's a pretty cool bottle. Low from Sandalia. That's a unisex, very attractive sort of Art Deco bottle. And Valentino Noir Absolute Musk Essence. Unisex. Barely dropped this year, guys. Very classy frag. Very classy bottle. Not for the cheap at heart. If you're really tight, you're not going to be getting your hands on a bottle of Valentino Noir Absolute Musk anytime soon. Sorry to say, but you can maybe buy one on layaway. Drum roll. Okay, and finally, Yoji Yamamoto. I've heard some good things about that house. I believe they're obviously out of Japan. And also for Versace, he did Eros Flame. I know nothing about that frag whatsoever. I don't even have a clue how it's received in Fragcom. It's a very new fragrance. It just dropped this year. So let me know also what you guys think of Eros Flame by Versace, the male edition. I don't know if there's a female one or not. Anything else I want to mention before we move on with the actual topic? He did Kuro Silver, some Yves Rocher, and some Zlatan Ibrahimovic, which sounds either Russian or Israeli Jewish. I don't know which. That's going to do it for that. Now let's get back to the notes, and let me get back to my live feed for a sec. Okay, here we are. Yes, back again. Okay, enough of all that. Sorry for the long detour, guys. I just wanted to really talk about Olivier's very, very impressive catalog and some pretty heavy hitters. A lot of very interesting fragrances that we would all, I think, like to get our noses on at some point. Back to the notes before we get into what I think about this fragrance, which is favorable, but we'll talk about it in a second. Trying to find my tab. My God. Tab, come up. Where are you? ¿Dónde estás, mi tab? Come on, guy. Where? I just had this thing open like a second ago. Where did it go? Yeah. Anyways, let's just get into it. I can't find the original tab, but I found one that'll work just as well. So, wait a minute, is that it? Oh yeah, okay, here we go. Anyways, the little blurb about the product description, and this kind of varies from site to site, but it typically goes something like this. The Montblanc legend man is confident and charismatic. An effortlessly seductive man who lives his feelings. The EDT is the incarnation of a resolutely masculine fragrance, both modern and timeless, with depth, modernity, and the right amount of discreet mystery. A fresh fougere with top notes that are lively, bright, and clean. Magnetic heart notes with a unique, witty floral tone. And a sensual dry down with an unforgettable signature of tonka beans and sandalwood. Now, here's the interesting part about the notes. Well, Italian bergamot, French lavandin, pineapple leaves. Yes, it does, guys. It has pineapple leaves in there. Watch out, lovers of Creed scents. White cedar, rose, fresh jasmine, pomerose, which is a full-on synthetic owned and created by the house of Givaudan out of France. Evernil, also, which also goes by the name of Evernil, I think something like Vermerose or Vernonil. Well, let me check that again. Veramos. Yeah, Veramos. And that's fully owned and created by IFF international fragrance and flavors company. Anyways, those give either oak mossy or woody, fruity, slightly floral type scents or vibes, if you will. Pomerose is the heavier hitter out of the two, but they both are quite powerful. Then sandalwood and tonka beans. So it's basically a unique woody floral fougere or fresh woody fougere. Almost, no, not really bordering on oriental. It's approaching. It's coming right up to the tippy toe, shallow watermark of the orientals, but it doesn't really have enough spice to go full on. The white cedar gives a little bit of a slightly spicy, very, very slightly, like a spice that's died way down, but you can still kind of detect that. Okay, the tonka beans obviously are kind of somewhere between having that vanillic and like a white musky type tone. The bergamot and the lavandine and the pineapple leaves are quite prominent. It has a nice floral herbaceousness, sort of that mixes with that white cedar and the rose and the pomerose and the evernil, giving it sort of an oak mossy vibe. I'm going to tell you what I really love about this fragrance, and then I'm going to tell you what I really do not love about it. I think that's more than fair. Firstly, I think this is one of the easily best dumb reach frags in the world. Like, if you just we're having like a brain freeze and just couldn't decide what to grab for an event, like you just run out of ideas. Maybe you've just been doing too many other fragrances like in your rotation and you're tired of those for whatever reason, or you feel like they're going to be too powerful for certain events, or too freshy, too light, too soapy, like some of the Prada L'Hommes, and you want something that is really good, inoffensive, very decent to good longevity and sillage and projection, and you want it to kind of tick off at least most of your boxes, this could easily fit the bill. I think that this is maybe one of the greatest dumb reach fragrances in the world, in the history of perfumery. I really believe that. I think it smells masculine, fresh, clean, but there's a little dirty funkiness to the herbal base that I kind of like. It kind of roughens it up a little bit, gives it a lot more body and depth. And it's also more French that way, du tel, oui, oui, monsieur. And I think that it just has a nice, classy, timeless vibe to it, which I find quite attractive and magnetic. Again, I do find it very masculine. I think this wears easily on the skin, on the clothes. I think you can dress it up, dress it down. You can go casual. You can go dressed up. I think you could honestly wear this to any event. This could be a club scent, but I would just put two little asterisks by that. I think it's a club scent, if you're a little bit older or more mature, and you're not looking for something that just rocks out of the world, people can smell you 10 feet out. If you're someone like that, that's a little bit more low key or more mature, or you don't need something that just screams 10 feet out, 20 feet out of projection, I think this could be a club scent. I'm in no way, shape, or form saying it's the most ideal club scent in the world, not at all. But I think it could. I think it could handle going to a club and having a dance off or a dance party, whatever you want to call it. Okay, that's enough of all that. I think it's very versatile. I think it smells masculine, fresh, clean, gentlemanly, timeless, classy, on and on and on. You get the drift. You get the gist. Now for some very light, mild negatives. Please don't hate me for saying this. I think the overall recipe for this fragrance is somewhat very safe. I think it's something that we've seen iterations come and go over the last 100 years, if I'm being really honest. I think France had their version of this 150 years ago and 100 years ago and 50 years ago. Does that make this bad? Of course not. This is excellent. It is modern enough. And it's, again, it's a freshy fougere. I get it. But this is not all that unique in Fragcom. We've seen iterations and perfumes like this. Like I said, going back 200 years probably, maybe even longer than that if you go back to ancient Rome and the Greeks and the French. But okay, that whatever. That's ancient. That's ancient world history. Who cares, right? I'm just simply saying this isn't the most unique statement frag. If you're looking for something that makes a powerful statement about you, this is not that frag. And also, another negative, this has been worn to death. This has been dragged over the coals, hyped, unhyped, and rehyped, and then unhyped again. So take that for what it's worth. I don't particularly care about all that. If I'm going to wear a fragrance, I'm going to wear it if I like it, regardless of how popular it is or not popular it is. Fragcom loves it. Fragcom hates it. It gets no love. It gets 50-50 love. I don't care. I could honestly give dos pesos, like 2 cents about that. Try not to curse on my channel. That's never really affected me. Now, it may affect some of you guys out there, and I understand that some of us are much more conscientious of what others think around us. Like if they smell something and they go, "Oh, Steve, that's so yesterday. That's so dated. You know, why are you rocking that?" Remember, guys, at the end of the day, even tried and true fragrances are going to smell a little bit different on your skin than they do on mine, than they do on your boss, or if you are the boss, then on your employee. It's going to smell a little bit distinct. And I often also have found that when I smell frags I don't like on someone else, I actually like it a lot more on their skin than I like it for myself, if that makes sense on my own. Okay, so what other possible negatives could there be? So, well, some people are just very arrogant and they have like more money than they know what to do with. And for people like that, they may think like this is just too cheapy, too bougie and bourgeoisie, way too middle class, levels for them to entertain. Honestly, when they can go out and buy $1,000 fragrance, $3,000 frag, like nothing, 2 clicks of the thumb, and they're gone. I don't have that issue. I'll probably never be that wealthy, and if I am, I hope I don't ever develop that kind of attitude. It's more hilarious, but it is also offensive. But okay, whatever. So as I've said, negatives. It was once upon a time the heavy hitter, Mr. Popular. It's no longer that way. It's a cheapie, which is a bonus, but some of us out there in Fragcom view that as a negative because we don't want to be smelled or nor seen wearing something that costs $35 a bottle, because we'll be afraid that our other people that we look up to will just think we're on a tight little budget or we can't do any better than that, or simply why are we rocking a fragrance that's so dated. Again, I think those are very, very minor niggles at best and probably hilarious at worst. So I think this is a very versatile, fantastic fragrance, again, for what it is, which is a phenomenal cheapie. Good sillage, decent projection. Last on skin about 6 to 8 hours, give or take. May last on clothing a little bit longer than that. If you're looking for active projection, I didn't get active projection past about the 2-hour mark, if that, but I did get a pretty decent tight skin scent and bubble for the next 3 to 4 to 5 hours, roughly. And then it pretty much began to just quickly die down to a skin scent. But that's really, really decent. Very, very good, actually, I would say, performance, especially for, like I said, you can buy the big bottle of this now for like $40 online, guys. I mean, honestly, who doesn't have $40 to spend on a really classy, timeless style fragrance that is masculine, fresh, a little bit soapy clean, because we know that's kind of been all the rage the last 5, 6, 7 years, give or take. And I just think, Montblanc kind of hit a home run with starting off the line with this one as the Big Daddy-O, the originator. A lot of the flankers are very good as well. We'll get into that later on some later editions. A lot of those got either no love, some love, 50-50 love, and there's some hardcore fans of some of the flankers. But we'll talk about some of that down the road. I don't want to eat up any more time. I've already kind of gone over limit. And yeah, that's going to have to do it, guys. I've gone way over my desired time limit. If you've stuck around, I have no idea why, but thank you very much. We will catch you later. Let me know if you have any ideas or requests for perfumes or colognes for me to review, and I will gladly take that into my timeline and account, and we'll see what I can do down the road. Until then, gracias, merci, grazie, prego, you're welcome. Spray often, spray well. Live life on your terms, baby, not on someone else's, because life is short. Peace out. And again, I want to wish everyone around the world, hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Keep on spraying, looking good. If you like, please subscribe and click the bell for future updates. Thanks for joining me here on my live feed, and we'll catch you next time. Adios. Adieu.